Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In case you're new here, my name is Betty and I share Bible reflections. These are things that I've read in the Bible and how I think they relate to my life, and perhaps they might relate to your life as well. I hope you feel inspired. I hope you feel encouraged. I hope that you may grow in mind and soul, and I hope that it may lead us closer to Christ. So welcome. In today's video, of course, we are still reading the book of Samuel. Yeah, so obviously already all the way through from, verse 1 to verse 18, we see all these things are perhaps coincidences. Up to verse 19, of Saul just going out to look for donkeys. But these are not coincidences. This is something God had already planned beforehand for Saul to meet Samuel. Because in what world would all those occurrences have happened? You know? And of course, looking into this story even deeply, it's so different for us as Christians, especially like say in our current day and age, because we are not depending on a seer to seek God. You see, even when Saul was going through all this, it was through Samuel that Saul would have connection to God. And Samuel would anoint Saul. And even the coincidences that had happened in Saul's life, kama hiyo kutafuta the donkeys and everything, and they finally landed on a seer. It just made me have a very strong retrospect, because how many seers, quote unquote, how many people have we met along the way that God had specifically set on our path? And obviously when Saul meets Samuel now, you see Samuel telling him, do not worry about your donkeys. And I feel like I really loved the way God worries about even the slightest things. Do you know the way we usually feel, or rather sometimes I would usually feel like there's this big mission for God, and then now there's this small to things that God is really not interested in fulfilling for us. One time, like I used to feel like that. But you see that whatever it is at the back of Saul's mind, the primary objective that Saul was trying to achieve, God had already set it, such that immediately Saul meets Samuel. Samuel tells Saul, usijali kuhusu those donkeys, zimepatikana. And it just shows how much considerate God is in this instance for me, because I feel like kama wewe unaenda kuambiwa you are the first king of Israel, surely si hata hizo donkeys zipotee. Do you get, like, the news is so great, I would assume that it wouldn't even matter if the donkeys zimepotea ama zijapotea. God did not disregard that. He made sure that whatever it is that Saul went seeking for, he found. Akimwambia usikuwe na stress about them. Yeah, so I love the way also that Saul alikuwa shakuwa prepared for a feast. He had no idea what was before him that day. Hata angeambiwa pengine beforehand angesema umechizi. And of course that is what we see in the next verses, because now when Samuel says, but for your donkeys that were lost 3 days ago, do not be anxious about them, for they have been found. And on whom is all the desires of Israel? Is it not you and on all your father's house? That is what Samuel is telling Saul. And Saul is like, are you out of your mind? Saul is like, and Saul answered, am I not a Benjamite of the smallest tribe of Israel, and my family the least of all the families of the tribe of Israel? Why then do you speak to me like this? Personally, when I was reading this story first, I knew that Saul was from the Benjamite tribe, like the lowest tribe in Israel. But I didn't know he was father in the lowliest family, in the lowest tribe. Yani, alikuwa chini wa chini. And it was so magnificent how much God can really anaweza kutoa kutoka huko chini. And sometimes there are some of us who are like Saul, who are from the lowliest of the lowliest backgrounds. There are others who are not even on the lowliest of the lowliest background, because Saul was the rock bottom of the rock bottom. There was no way, not a chance for Saul to have been considered to be king of Israel. There was not a chance at all. And that is so funny, because when you read verse 1, it describes Kish, Saul's father, as a mighty man of power. It says, there was a man of Benjamin whose name was Kish, the son of Abiel, the son of Zerah, the son of Bechorath, the son of Aphia, the son, a Benjamite, a mighty man of power. So, niko zile za kama Saul ana feel. And of course, it also, connects to the issue, the difference or disparity between father and son, especially in Samuel and Eli. Because how is it that Kish is a mighty man of power? Yet Saul anasema, mimi, I cannot fit into this shoe, you know? And that it just shows of how much sometimes like understanding iko misplaced. You don't, you know, like there was such a disparity in these two understandings, and it was impressive to see that theme even here. And so unapata like anasema si yeye Samuel amekosea si yeye obviously, and it is just a good reflection of how much God really doesn't care about where you are from. Like sometimes you can be called to be something, and I believe all of us are called to be something, but you're like, one of the good excuses you can give is, but I can't do this because I am from. And Saul felt like his identity was not, and that was not true, because even his father, the one from that family, apparently was considered as a mighty man. And that's why like God's view of thinking is usually very, very different from man, because according to Saul, he might think that he's from the lowly of the lowliest, but God sees it very, very differently. And this just gives me the confidence to continually trust in the judgment, in God's judgment over my life, because how can he find someone of the lowliest of the lowly? That means he sees everyone. Highly likely ndo afike huko chini, si alikuwa ameshaona juu. Do you understand? It's not like a And it's impressive to see that, because sometimes we usually think God overlooks so many things, or God picks specific people for specific whatever. We usually feel that the people that, or rather me, I would feel that the people that he picks are certainly everyone else but me. You know, because of. And this is a great assurance that sometimes I might seem unworthy, I might feel unworthy, but in God's eyes, it's different. God sees a mighty man of power, in this case, a mighty woman of power. And it was just a good reflection to see. So for me, it has made me more aware. It has made me appreciate everything around me even more. Because unaweza kaa tu chini ukifikiria it's a normal day affair, it's a normal this and that. However, wewe ndo you know, you've missed a very important aspect of your life, because Saul would have chosen not to look for the, I don't know if he had the he could have refused to go look for the donkeys. He could have refused to go look for the seer. He could have refused to go up the mountain with up the higher place with someone. There are so many instances where Saul would have said, oh well, I was looking for the donkeys, I found the donkeys, let me just go back home, or let me do whatever. Or he would have ignored the stuff. There are so many things, but Saul just ticked the right boxes, and that's why I strongly believe that indeed the steps of a righteous man are definitely guided by God. Because for that ridiculous day, he was willing to do everything. I was like, okay, let's do this, yeah. And so I now pray that may God help me see and say yes to the things I need to say yes to, and turn the other way to the things I need to turn the way to. And actually, Jesus takes it up a higher notch, akisema that kuna place alikuwa anasema like, when the Ninevites heard the message of Jonah, they turned away from their sins. But now we don't have prophets. We have his son, Jesus Christ. So Jesus was arguing that Nineveh will testify against us. And I felt that was a very strong message, and the argument is because the one who is prophesied has come. So we already have the exposure to be able to go to God directly without necessarily needing to tap into someone else's whatever. And so Jesus alikuwa na challenge akisema, the Ninevites wakituona sahi, if they could have been saved with a sign from Jonah, with a repentance call from Jonah. Sembuse sisi wenye tumeona Yesu, sembuse us who've heard and who've listened, or like who've heard of the testimonies of Jesus Christ and of the witnesses of Jesus Christ. And so, of course, it is a higher challenge to just let us try assessing what are the apparent coincidences in our lives. And I feel like sometimes hizo coincidences, they make us stuck. Like for Saul, that thing, the way he made those decisions, it changed his life forever. He became the king of Israel. So what is it that has been making us circle back? Because we feel it is so normal, but we do not want to act on it. So it has just challenged me on a very, very amazing level. And I have been so blessed by 1 Samuel 9. I hope you have been blessed too. As we continue to digest on the book of Samuel, I pray that God may be with us. I pray that God will continue inspiring us. I pray that God will continue guiding us. And I pray that we may never forget how much God can do. Until next time. Bye-bye.